Hi everyone. The DEA is performing illegal searches at the airport. This is Christina Williams with Just Criminal Law.
And David Mann, legal storytelling specialist. Well, that doesn't sound like it makes sense. The DEA is a government agency, isn't it? So they're doing something illegal?
Yes, it's the Drug Enforcement Administration. And they are subjecting travelers to illegal searches of their personal items, like their luggage, at the airport, and detaining them essentially without reasonable suspicion or probable cause.
Oh, I think this brings to mind a video that I saw recently that I think went sort of viral of a guy being stopped on a plane by a DEA agent, and the whole thing he really resisted. Is this what you're talking about?
Yes, so that particular passenger was informed and he knew his rights. He was headed to New York and he bought a last minute ticket, was traveling for work like many people do. And he ended up being detained by DEA, and they were insisting on going through his backpack, and they didn't have any reason to believe there was any sort of criminal activity afoot, which is the legal standard. But nonetheless, they detained him and actually removed his backpack from the overhead bin on the airport and told him that they were going to bring a canine to the area and have it conduct a free air sniff. Well, he chose to get off the plane and go with his belongings and the DEA agent.
But the whole time he's saying, I didn't agree to a search. He's sort of doing the things that we've said in these videos, which is to really resist just complying if you have absolutely no reason to. You didn't do anything wrong, which it sounds like he didn't.
Right, and whether or not you've done something wrong or not, you don't need to consent to a search of your personal belongings. And this agent actually threatened to further detain him and to go and ask a local judge for a search warrant. Now, if you watch the video, you notice that the canine very suspiciously alerts according to the DEA agent. I would say it's very questionable whether or not he alerted on the backpack. And further threatened, to cause the traveler delays. He ended up missing his flight to New York and, eventually acquiescing and allowing the DEA agent to search his backpack. But he definitely knew his rights. He knew that he needed to ask them, am I detained? Am I free to leave? He asked them, what do you believe I did that was illegal? Why are you detaining me? And, the DEA agent just basically misinformed him of what the standard is, what the law is, told him that their agency is conducting these searches across the nation, and if they were illegal, they wouldn't be doing them. But that's not true. And
it sounds like this, from what I've heard, the DEA is no longer allowed to do this. Is that right?
Well, yes, they've been told not to do this anymore. They were actually hiring confidential informants. That is, they were paying TSA workers to alert them to any traveler who had booked a last-minute flight into a city that they considered a drug trafficking city, which is basically every major city in the United States. And so they were paying off TSA agents to let them know who's bought a last-minute ticket, say, to New York City in this particular case.
That was the tip-off in this case, and it sounds like it often is. It's just buying a ticket really close to the flight time to a major city was enough to get the DEA thinking, oh, this is a target for searching.
Right, but that alone is not reasonable suspicion or probable cause, which is the standard to detain somebody and to search somebody. And so they're subjecting these travelers, who a lot of times just acquiesce in letting them search the backpack because they want to make their connection, they want to make their next flight, and it causes this unusual duress because they're in an airport needing to stick to a travel schedule.
Yeah, so this is all now something that it was illegal then. Is now. So are we in danger of this happening to us when we fly?
Well, it potentially could, and we'll include a link to this YouTube video where this particular traveler handled the situation perfectly. I mean, he could have stood his ground and not let them search the backpack. Ultimately, they searched the backpack and there was nothing in it. But he was standing up for his rights. They're important rights. The DEA agent in this particular video, basically scolded him for making a big deal out of nothing, as if your right to privacy or the Constitution is nothing. So it is something that potentially anyone could be subjected to.
So if someone finds themselves in this situation where they've been searched and, unreasonably like this, how might they get in touch with you for help?
Sure, we'll include a link in the description where they can call, text, or chat with a member of my team anytime, day or night. Here at Just Criminal Law, we know you only get one shot at justice, so make yours count.